guys, and welcome to another broadcast. Tonight we are going to be talking about emotional eating and identifying yourself as an emotional eater. Welcome to Facebook and welcome to YouTube. We are broadcasting live. Both of these broadcasts will be saved in the news feeds, either on YouTube in my intermittent fasting playlist or on Facebook. You can find it in my videos section. If you are new, my name is Diane. Please take a second to hit that like button on Facebook and subscribe if you wouldn't mind on YouTube so that you'll be notified when we go live. And during the broadcast, if I say something that resonates with you, always feel free to hit that like button or a thumbs up. And make sure that you introduce yourself and let me know that you're here so I can acknowledge you toward the end of the broadcast, welcome you, and if you have any questions, I will answer them at that time. My name is Diane, and for the last 25 years, I have been helping women find nutritional plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best, and what I think is most important, live their most authentic life. And I have been doing that the last couple of years through intermittent fasting, and I found intermittent fasting because I myself was finding it difficult as a new 50-something-year-old woman to maintain my health, my physique, and kind of have control over my life around food the way I used to use it or the way I had always been using it. And I was finding it difficult to also exercise with the way that my body was changing that I felt like I no longer had control over. I started researching and started implementing intermittent fasting for myself, and was able to change a lot of things in my life that were going wrong and now are going right. And I feel absolutely amazing at 51. And now I share what I have learned and what I'm implementing for myself with other women through a course that I call Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. And we have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women go through that course, and they are literally changing their lives. So tonight I am going to talk about emotional eating, and oftentimes the subjects for what I discuss here with you guys in this open forum come from these courses that I do and from conversations that I have during what I call my consult calls that I have with some of the women in my courses. And so this topic comes up on almost every call that I have, and it's sort of what I call a confession, and it kind of opens the door to some conversation so I always appreciate when it comes out in the open, and I can totally relate to this situation because I also used to identify myself this way. And that way that a lot of women sort of title themselves or identify themselves is that of an emotional eater. And it is basically stated exactly the way it is, and it does come out sometimes as sort of a confession of I am an emotional eater. And I always like to kind of dig a little deeper into this sort of topic of conversation during my consult calls and try to figure out what it is that this means for a woman, or why it is that they brought up that situation during our call. And if you caught my broadcast a couple of nights ago, we were talking about food addiction versus the harmful use of food. And I really categorize kind of confessing or admitting or accepting or living a life as an emotional eater right up there in line with the harmful use of food, or using food addiction very loosely as an excuse for falling off track or justification for doing things that you probably shouldn't do for yourself or your overall well-being with your health, fitness, and nutrition. And I know I've talked very openly here about times when I was stressed out in my life. I talk about during a time after school when my kids would get home from school, and I'm an A-type control freak kind of personality, and things were utter chaos in the house, and backpacks were thrown everywhere, and shoes were kicked off, and kids were complaining about needing a snack, and I would sort of mentally check out and stand in the pantry and consume an entire bag of goldfish and slam down a couple of Diet Cokes and not even be present in the moment to realize what I was doing. And I've had this sort of situation kind of attached to me, or kind of accepted the fact that I was an emotional eater pretty much my entire young adult life. There have been times where I've sat right in front of an open refrigerator, crisscross applesauce with an entire cheesecake in my lap and a fork, and would sit there and unconsciously eat an entire cheesecake, not even realize what I was doing because I was masking it with some stress or something that was going on in my life that I wasn't able to kind of handle very well emotionally. And so I can identify with, women having that sort of I don't know, like guilt maybe, or the excuse of being an emotional eater for the reason why they're not reaching their goals, because that was a situation that I once lived in myself. And I often get asked, from a lot of these women, how is it that I can just change my life? How is it that I was able to kind of break some of those emotional eating habits, or break out of that funk and really be committed to what I'm doing today and the results that I'm getting now as a 51-year-old menopausal woman? And what I always say very frankly and very honestly is, I just made a decision. And I stopped owning things like emotional eating and addictions to foods that really weren't addictions, but they were really convenient ways to justify making poor food choices. And when I was really sick and I was scared and I was unhappy with my inability to be in control of my weight or be in control of the body fat I had that I never really had to battle before, and I would wake up every morning feeling like, there was something terminally wrong with me, and just had to decide that enough was enough, and I didn't want to have those days anymore, and that I was more powerful than the food choices that I was making for myself. And I had to really let go of some of those really convenient titles we put on ourselves, or really convenient sort of excuses that we make for ourselves that are just keeping us from setting the goals that we know that we need to make, or allowing us to cheat ourselves in situations where we know that we should be stronger. And so I kind of want to touch on some of the advice that I give the women on these consult calls, in case you might be kind of stuck in that place where you feel like maybe it's not your fault that you can't lose weight, or it's not your fault that you can't make those food choices that you know are better for you. It's not your fault that you emotionally check out, because you're an emotional eater, and that's what emotional eaters do, so it's totally justified. But unless you have a really serious food addiction, and we talked about that a couple nights ago too, and I really don't want to kind of dive into the serious food addiction situations, because it is serious, and I am not qualified to really go into that, avenue with people who are truly suffering from that. I'm talking more for us women who are conveniently using things like emotional eating and food addictions that are just convenient ways to kind of justify chips and salsa 5 nights a week, or eating that chocolate cake that we shouldn't eat, and how we can kind of set ourselves up for success so we don't continually or habitually do those things and then find ourselves constantly frustrated and disappointment with the results that we're not getting, but we're not getting them because we're really not dedicated enough, and we haven't made decisions that we are worth what we say that we want. And so it usually starts with sort of a why sort of statement of why it is you want to make these changes. And your why really has to be powerful enough for you to be strong in the moment and be able to do what I said the other night, and that sort of pause, kind of be in the moment, take a breath, think about what you're doing, and ask yourself a series of questions so that you can create a trigger that's going to put you into another habit state. And so in our house, we have a little rule, and we just call it the little Johnny rule. And we don't eat birthday cake or treats at little Johnny's birthday party. And if you are a parent of kids, or maybe a parent of grandkids that are around a lot, there's birthday parties every weekend. And if you allow yourself to indulge in the treats that some other family provides for little kids to have, because you just happen to be in the room and you're eating the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese and you're eating the cake and the ice cream at every birthday party, you're going to be disappointed in how your body is feeling and how your body is looking, because we don't need to eat that way, and we don't deserve to eat that way. We deserve to eat better. And so for our house, we have the little Johnny rule, and we just don't eat cake and pizza and treats at every little Johnny's party. We only do those things for celebrations that involve our immediate family, and our kids don't even want birthday cake. We don't eat cake in our family. We just never have. It's not our tradition. So why would we eat it at someone else's house? And I know oftentimes if you're working in like a work environment or an office space, you've got the people who are so generous and they bring in their cookies and their brownies and all their baked goods, and we feel obligated to indulge in them because, man, they put the effort together to bake them and bring them in, when the reality is they're dumping them on you because they don't want that crud in their house, because they don't want to eat it. And so you don't have to indulge in all the office treats that are brought in and all the celebrations, and the surprise pizza party that happens to go down at work, if it's not part of what you have scheduled for your day, you graciously dismiss yourself from those situations, and you can walk away. You do not have to be emotionally obligated to those people who are bringing those things in and did not ask your permission to sort of present them to you. It was just a kind gesture that they thought that they were going to do. And most oftentimes, I know I've been guilty of this myself working in an office environment, I dump the crap that I don't want in my house on my quote unquote friends and colleagues at work. And that's an easy way to kind of offload a bunch of crud that you don't want in your house because you don't want to eat it yourself. And just know that the people that you work around or the people in your office space are doing exactly the same thing to you, and you're not emotionally obligated to make them feel good about that decision. Then we can go a step farther, and that's checking out and emotionally eating. And I shared with you guys how I've done that before in my past, where I've been stressed out and I find myself in a closet somewhere. And I wasn't like closet eating, like I was hiding from anybody. I was checked out and wasn't feeling anything and would just consume food out of pure numbness. And I know that is a very serious situation for women, especially if you are kind of at that point of life where maybe you're just completely tapped out, or you are exhausted, or you feel like most of us feel when we hit this point of life where maybe you're an empty nester or your kids are independent and you kind of are done taking care of other people, and then you just suddenly just realize that you're stuck with this person and this body that you really don't even know anymore because you've spent so many years taking care of other people that you forgot how to take care of yourself. And so we end up being this numb body, not happy with what we ended up with in life because of what we've done to neglect ourselves. And honestly, most of the time it's done unintentionally. It just happens over time because as women, we're caregivers. We give of ourselves. We usually take things last. We go without. And that's just the nature of our job and the nature of why we are women and why we are such amazing caretakers and why we can raise such amazing kids and grandkids and take care of a home and work and do the laundry and multitask. And then at the end of the day or at the end of a few decades, we're exhausted, sometimes broken, and end up being sick. And so if you find that you're that person that has been checked out from yourself, and maybe you're not very familiar with yourself or you don't know how to read symptoms and signs that your body's giving you and you're numb, and so you find yourself in a closet eating goldfish or eating your grandkids' snacks or maybe your kids' little treats, and you're not realizing what you're doing because you're emotionally checked out, which in turn becomes an emotional eating situation, what you need to do is just make some decisions for yourself. Why is it that you're not happy with the way you're feeling? Why is it that you're not happy with the way you look? Why is it that you're not happy with some of the choices that you're making? And then you have to just really come to grips with yourself and what it is that you want for yourself. And for oftentimes for a lot of us, and I know I'm in this situation now because I have two very independent kids, I have an amazing husband, my house is pretty self-sufficient, I have lots of time, I can finally spend some time on me and get to know me and recreate that intimate relationship that I have with me so that I can be checked in and present with myself. And when you can get to that point where you can kind of figure out why it is that you need to start taking care of yourself, and I know for my husband and I, we are very dedicated to take care of ourselves, not only for our children, but because we are older grandparents. I have a almost 11-year-old daughter. I'm 51 years old. I am going to be an older grandparent. And if I want to be happy and healthy and active and energetic for the grandchildren I don't have yet because I'm still raising children, then I have to be present with myself today and make sure that I'm taking care of myself and keep the emotional bad habits out of my life and bring in some good emotional eating habits based on why it is I'm trying to do what I'm doing. And so I take care of myself. I eat well, I make good decisions, and I've created boundaries around food situations and lifestyle situations based on the fact that I want to be a happy and healthy mother to my children and a happy, healthy mother and wife to my husband, or a wife to my husband, and then all of those things for my grandkids as well. And so I'm doing that because I have a life that I can foresee in my future that I want to be present for and healthy for. And so you have to just make a decision. Are you worth making a choice that is going to be putting you before some treat that someone brought into an office? Are you going to put you before an unconscious sort of numb situation where you're going to do something that you're going to regret 5 minutes after you do it? Are you going to continue to allow labels that you've placed on yourself, like I'm an emotional eater, or I'm addicted to certain things that are just convenient and easier to just say I can't live without them, than it is to kind of buckle down and just get through a detox or a phase where you can kind of break some habits and create some new ones? Are you worth it? And if you can look at yourself and know and feel and say that you're worth it, then you can break all of those little stereotypes or those labels that are so easy for us to place on ourselves, and you can say some different words to yourself and put some different titles on what you say you are and make some changes. So I can tell you that I am no longer an emotional eater. I am a strong, independent, and empowered woman who wants to live a happy and healthy life. And so those are the things that I lead with when I make decisions for myself and decisions for my family, because I want to remain that person. And if I continue to put those negative titles on me and those easy excuses that I can fall on, that society, makes it very easy for us to do, then I can constantly live in a state of sickness and a state of fatigue and a state of depression, which is where I no longer want to be. So change the titles that you use when you describe yourself. Speak in a different manner. Even if in the very beginning you're doing it just to convince yourself that you're something other than what you currently are. And eventually you will fool yourself into believing it. And once you start to believe it, you'll be able to act it out, and you'll be able to free yourself of some of those things that have you stuck right now in a place where you're not feeling your best and that you're not able to kind of live your life the way you want to live it. And in my opinion, we should be living it authentically. If we're not happy and we're not energetic and we're not living our life to the fullest, then there's no possible way that we can be living it authentically, because we're supposed to be living our life in a generous way. So please make sure that when you are describing yourself to someone else, that you describe it in a way in which you want to live your life. Even if right now you maybe are not 100% believing that it's true, keep saying the positive words. Keep describing yourself in the way you wish to live. Keep describing yourself in the way that you hope to be living one day. And I promise you, one day that's exactly who you will be, and you will no longer have those excuses that you can fall on that will continually have you making bad habits and continually making you feel less than what it is you deserve to be living in your life. So I'm going to go through and look at some of the comments. I think I went to Facebook Live last night, so I'm going to go to YouTube tonight and see what we got and who's here. Bay Before Win, good evening. I love some of these YouTube handles. They're awesome. Cassie, excited to be starting in the July course. Cassie, we're excited too. We're like days away. And thank you guys in the July course for being so patient with Kara and I. It's been a busy couple days. Janet, good evening from Nevada. Looking forward to July course. I'm looking forward to it too. Tracy, good evening. Finally joining live. Loving the course. I'm finally seeing changes after almost 2 months of IF. Can't wait to talk with you on FaceTime. Tracy, I can't wait to talk to you either. When's our scheduled call? Hopefully this week. Marlise, hi Diane. This definitely is an issue for me at times. Yeah, it can be. So stay checked in with yourself, Marlise, and it'll start to become less and less evident. From Iowa, I'm in the midst of tornado warnings tonight. Oh, Tracy, stay safe. Jan, hi Diane, Cassidy, babe, Janet. I guess you're saying hi to some friends. Well, that's nice. Monica, hello from Long Beach, California. Can't wait to take the August class. Hey, Monica, my in-laws live in Long Beach. Something. Is IF known to prevent migraines? I've noticed mine are fewer since I started. So IF, I don't necessarily think prevents migraines, but it's whatever it was you were doing before that you're no longer doing that are probably helping with your migraines. So IF just helps make all that easier. Marnie, hi from Melbourne. Hi, Marnie. Good to have you. Lee finally got on here. Oh, yes. Marnie, I had to learn how to take the emotion out of food, which is very hard. It is hard because our society is so based on food things, right? We're rewarded with food, we're disciplined with food, we're tempted by food, we party with food, we, soak in food. Like everything that we do in our society is centered around food, and you can't escape it. So it's really hard to get away from food. So I always say too, like, go back to your food story. Like, what's your food story growing up? How was food handled in your life as a child? Were you rewarded with food? Were you disciplined with food? Did you use food as a reward system for yourself? And go back to those times when you were younger and food was sort of used in your life, and see if you can remember some of those things that might be triggers for you today. And as an adult, we have the power and the right to make some choices. So just because something was done to us or with us or for us as children because of someone else's decision making doesn't necessarily mean we have to carry that over into our adult life when we can make decisions for ourselves. Yes, we want to rely on that past as a tool to kind of get us through into a new phase or season of life. And then we want to make sure that we're using that as a way to improve and sort of change things as our life progresses as adult, and know that you have a right as an adult who's standing on your own 2 feet to change the things in your life that you are not happy with, even if they were set up for you before in your past. You do not have to live that way anymore if it's not making you happy or it's not benefiting you. You have that right. Let's see, where did I leave off? Let's see. Why do you think people aren't happy when they have food that isn't healthy? Why do you think that people aren't happy when they have food that isn't healthy? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of unhealthy food is addictive. So sometimes I think that it's sort of addictive in the sense that it feels good, the sugars and all that kind of stuff. And so I think, and I don't want to overstep my bounds here, but I think a lot of people like easy, and sometimes unhealthy food is easy. And so we like to go the easy route. We like to go to self-gratification route. And so indulging in those sort of things just sort of soothes emotion. And I think a lot of people don't want to get to that sort of detox or change place to realize that healthy food can do the same thing. You just have to shift the way you think about things. So it's kind of like a paradigm shift in your brain. Okay, let's see, where did I end off? Sorry about that, you guys. We attach our eating to emotions, but it really isn't. It's really just a habit. Our lower brains get conditioned. Yeah, they do. And so we have to, and that's where it's sort of like it's hard to do the work to condition our brains to think another way. And so a lot of times we don't slow down enough or check in enough. And a lot of that has to do, I was just talking to a couple women this week about social media habits and kind of checking out in front of electronics and checking out in front of a TV. And so we're so conditioned to check out that oftentimes we check out with food too. And we're just never present emotionally or mentally in our own daily life and routine. And we're checked out with our kids. Sometimes we're checked out with our spouses. Sometimes we're unhappy with our job, so we're checked out there. And so we lived in a checked out state. And then that's how you can kind of make those food choices or overindulge or stand in a closet and eat Cheetos or goldfish or whatever it is that you do and not even really connect it to what's going on in your life. And so there's a lot to it, but you have some tools and you have the ability to make some changes, and it all starts here in your own brain. I had to learn how to take the emotion out of food, which was very hard. Yeah. Why do you think that people aren't happy? Okay, I already read all those. Why do we create boundaries on our food when they don't make us physically sick and we want them, but they are not necessarily good? So why do we create boundaries on our food when they don't make us physically sick and we want them, but they aren't necessarily good? I don't know if I really understand what you're asking there. Hey, from Santa Barbara. Rita, hi Diane, thanks for all that you do. Come on July, whoop whoop. Oh, it's Saturday, it's going to be here fast. I'm in the July group. Yes, I like that you are no nonsense on the topic. No room for excuses. I need that accountability. Casey, good. I'm glad. That's the only way I know how to live. So I'm glad you appreciate it, and I'm sure you're probably like that too. Needy, you're awesome. Oh, thank you. Denise, great inspiring words. I couldn't agree more. Good, good, good. DS, Doreen from Nashville, looking forward to July. So I got my July people in the house. I love it. Holly, hi from Tulsa, ready to get going this weekend. I know. Cynthia, I'm looking forward to July group. Okay. Chia latte or chia tea, a fasting breaker. I don't know. You have to try it and see if it works for you or not. If there's no calories and stuff in it and it's clean, I would say it's probably okay. You are super duper wise. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, Freddie, thank you. Regarding the consult Diane, because I'm in Scotland, my number wouldn't fit in the forum space. Okay, Jan, do me a favor. So Jan S. from Scotland, do me a favor and send me an email and I'll set you up for a Skype call. It'll be a lot easier and we'll do it through Skype and email. Patricia, hi from Illinois. Love your YouTube channel. So I'll join the June group. So you did join the July group, Patricia? Heidi, had to tackle my emotional eating before embracing. I am so grateful to be a better place now and that I found your channel. Looking forward to July course. Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I think one of the reasons why intermittent fasting, it has been so successful for women with a lot of these issues like emotional eating and food addictions and all those things, is because with intermittent fasting, when you're in that fasting state and you're really cleansing out your body and you're getting rid of all of that, damaged, dead protein cells, and your brain is clear, you become hormonally balanced, and our emotions are part of those hormones. So I think everything that we do that makes us balanced is going to put everything else in our life in a better place of balance, and it's going to make sense and control, and we're going to have a better perspective of everything. And so I think that's why intermittent fasting is helping so many women, even on that emotional level, because we feel in control and we feel empowered, and we don't have to follow someone's crazy rules about eating every 2 hours and only eating a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I also think that all these years of lack of eating fat has damaged us emotionally. I mean, it's so hard to live on tasteless, cardboard, dried out food. We've missed out on so much, and I think that also kind of creates that feeling of I deserve things when you don't really deserve it, but you go so sparse on so many things for so long, and then you kind of just go after some things when they're available to you, and oftentimes it's the stuff that's bad, and we kind of get a little bingy on it. And so I do think kind of incorporating that higher fat type of lifestyle, getting rid of those carb addictions, really does put us in a state where we can be in total control of what we're doing, and a part of that is that emotional eating. Cool. Oh, you've already touched base with some other July members. Awesome. Lauren Abbott. This is Terry Abbott, not my daughter Lauren. Just wanted to say it was great talking to you today. Love you, and I think you are awesome. Oh, Terry, I absolutely loved our call today. Thank you so much for trusting me and spending some time with me today. Kara, Michael, my husband is here. Miss Joanna is here. Thank you for joining us. Stephanie, good to see you. Is it Vivery? I sent you an email today about the question you asked me about protein powders, so check your email for sure. Margaret is here. Good to see you. Mary, looking forward to Saturday. Oh my gosh, you guys, it feels like it's going to be Christmas or something. I am so super excited, and we have almost 250 women in our July group, so it's going to be super, super fun. I got my girl, another Australia friend here, Christine, always good to have you. Liz is here. Jessica's here. Yvonne, good to see you here. Estelle is here. Julie, hi Diane, went to my doctor for a physical today, told her I'm doing IF, and she said fine, but suggested after I told her my frustration, been on for 3 weeks and have lost nothing. She said maybe I wasn't eating enough. Can you, I think you're asking me if I can help you. Yes, I can. Julie, send me an email, please. Ingrid, good to see you. Robin is here. Elaine, nice to see you. Chris, I'm ready to leave all that self-destruction behind also. Good for you, Chris. Okay, so just as much as like stating something like I am an emotional eater makes us sort of own it and gives us permission to kind of go out of bounds and make those kind of bad food choices emotionally. The other thing also comes into play when you say I am no longer going to make those destructive decisions. I'm going to leave those behind. Say that to yourself every day. Say that to yourself several times a day, and eventually that will become your vocabulary, and you will no longer be putting those labels on yourself and creating those excuse situations of I'm an emotional eater. So of course I'm going to eat an entire chocolate cake. I'm an emotional eater. That's what we do, right? You can totally justify that for yourself. But you can also say what I said a little while ago. I'm a strong, independent, empowered woman. I don't do those self-destructive things for myself. So I'm going to say no thank you, and I'm going to walk away from that situation. And trust me, there's going to be another opportunity for you to have a treat down the road, or there's going to be a time when you can kind of indulge in something when it's appropriate, but not every single time it's presented to you, and definitely not during a time when you're emotionally checked out and you're not aware of what it is you're about to do. So make sure that you're checked in and present in the moment. Yvonne, oh my gosh, many years ago, I would stand in front of their fridge eating a dish of cornbread stuffing just because I loved it. Didn't feel stressed or anything. I would rationalize eating the whole thing. I know, girl, I did the same thing. And mine was cheesecake. I don't even know. I'm like lactose intolerant. What was I eating? Cheesecake. It's crazy. Jenny, good to have you. Robin, that happens to me almost every day. I don't like to make people feel bad at work. Robin, it's not your responsibility to eat other people's food. If they make a decision to bring in a treat to work, you say no thank you. They are just dumping their crap on you. Do not give them that power. You do not need to eat other people's food. Cindy, good to have you. Cindy is in our July group as well. And Cindy and I are friends back from way back in California, so it's good to have you in the group. It's going to be nice to connect with you again. Robin did a 24-hour fast today. That's awesome. Nancy, my running friend from San Diego or in Orange County, is here. Tabani, good to see you. 22 hours. Jessica, fasting has made me realize some of my emotional triggers for sure. I love being strong and having willpower. It makes me feel amazing. Well, Jessica is amazing, so I'm glad that you're actually feeling what you are. That's always a great connection. Michaela, it has taken me a while to finally not feel bad about saying no thank you at work. I feel so much better now. Yeah, it's not your responsibility to eat other people's food. It is my future grandkids that I do this for. Jenny, good for you, and me too. I can't wait to be an energetic, I want to be the fun grandmother. I want to be around for my grandkids the way my grandmothers were around for me. And so I'm doing everything I can to make sure that that's happening. And then I also want to be around to watch my kids be married and be parents too. So it's worth it to make those decisions. Tammy, you are worth it. Yvonne, you are totally worth it. Laura, you are so inspirational. Thank you. Oh, Laura, thank you so much for saying that. Hopefully you'll stick around with us. Terry, love you. I think you are awesome. This is Terry Abbott. So Terry, you're in two places. Girlfriend, I'm loving that. Dina, there are times I accept a brownie, cookie, etc. from coworkers or students, then throw it away later. Yeah, I guess you could do that, but I think what would even be better is to set the example that you can be a person that says no thank you and walk away. So we don't have to appease other people's feelings, but you're a nice person for doing that. Diane, good to have you, Diane. Laura, I'm ready. I'm already a grandmother, but I know it's not too late. I'm worth it. Yes, you are. You're definitely worth it. And you want to be around for your grandkids well. So you don't want your grandkids to see a sickly old grandmother either. Lindsay, good to have you. Janice, you got it. Melissa is here. KJ, 18 hours under my belt in 40 minutes. Seems easier today. It does get easier, KJ, so just keep up with it. Diane, I don't eat after 5 p.m. because I know I am not ready because I tend to snack at night. Thanks for the pep talk. Oh, Diane, you are totally welcome. Shayna, how long do you need to fast if you ate something you have an allergic reaction to in the 7-day test to get it out of your system? I would say the bigger thing is just to stay away from that thing that made you allergic, and then drink lots of water. I would say if you did like a 20-hour fast, you should probably be okay. Just drink lots of water, and just keep, some kind of like easy, clean foods in your system, and you'll be able to flush it out in no time. Make sure, maybe take some Benadryl or something too. Dabani, I was raised by my grandmother, who is an amazing cook and could also bake. We were taught to clean our plate by my mom, but my grandmother wouldn't force food on us. But the cakes and pies and goodies were, I can't read the rest of it. I'm sure they were probably delicious. Joy, IF has been the best thing that's happened to me. I'm seeing a big change in my health. Don't even want sugars or carbs. Wanted to know you keep me motivated. Oh, Joy, thank you so much. And that's a big thing, not wanting sugars and carbs. So congratulations to you. You make sure you're patting yourself on the back on that one. Diane, 24 hours for me. That is awesome. Dina, Christmas in July, right? Got it. Thank you. Correct pronunciation. Okay, good. Vivery. Maria, good to have you. Haven't seen you in a while, Maria V. Miss Vic, hi from Australia. My first ever live visit. Awesome. And Miss Vic, you snuck into the July course, so we will see you on Saturday in the course for sure. And the Facebook group's up, so you're probably in there already too. Jan, grandmother here as well. Very motivated. Awesome. Gilbert Zamora, haven't seen you in forever. Welcome. Valeria, I think it is. Hello from Santa Barbara. Oh, lucky you're in Santa Barbara. Perfect. Thank you. Shayna, you're welcome. Okay, let me go back over here to YouTube really quick because I know a lot of messages came through again. I'll get through those really quick. Lauren, that's Terry again. Okay. Hello, I'm super psyched. Okay, we already read that one. Sorry, I'm just going to try to catch up real quick. The ability to not be controlled by hormones is so powerful. I'll never go back. This is my lifestyle forever now. That is so true. Hormones can be amazing, and then hormones can be scary. I rather have them in that amazing state, and so you have to get them balanced out and have them working for you and not against you. And so it sounds like you've got that going on, so that's awesome. Brown Eyes 1547. I'm in the July group, but my consult call isn't till August. Brown Eyes 1547. If your consult call is booked after August 14th, I put a post out today that I'm going to do everything I can to move all you people up to the end of July, fill in some July gaps, and then I will make sure that you get a consult call earlier in August. It'll just have to be a onesie, twosie type thing, so please be patient with me as I make those changes. My family's going on vacation in the beginning part of August, so I will be taking with most of you on vacation with me and doing calls on my vacation. So trust me, I will make sure that you get taken care of. Don't be someone's garbage bin. Exactly. Don't eat someone's crap that they're getting out of their house because they don't want to be sabotaged by it. Don't let them sabotage you. Kate, you do need to join July. So go to the link and get in. We're actually starting a second July course on July, I think it's the 15th, which is a Saturday, 2 weeks from the first course starting up. So get signed up and we'll get you plugged into a course. All you got to do is get yourself signed up. Mary, just tuned in. Where do I find oolong tea? I'm starting this fasting soon. I'm in New Mexico. I don't know what kind of tea you're talking about. Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Looking forward to starting in July, first visit. Awesome. Evelyn, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see if we got anything else over here. I love how you guys are all posting in. It's so fun to be here with you guys. It's nice to have a community of people I can talk to. Love your new lifestyle. Yeah, that's awesome. Is July closed? So, Kate, July 1st is closed, but we just started a new course for July. It's being posted on YouTube as a link, and I'll get my husband to post it here on Facebook if he wouldn't mind, or maybe Kara can post it on Facebook as well. You can sign up for the next course that's starting. We have so many women starting that we're doing a July 15th course as well. So just get signed up and we'll send you an email, let you know all the details of the next course. Mary, Grandma from North Carolina. Well, welcome. Audra, hi, Diane. Excited for the July course. Thank you millions for your forthcoming beautiful spirit. Oh, thank you. Thanks for trusting me. Thanks for being here with us. Okay, so Facebook. My husband posted the link for the July course. It's the Info IF group. Click on that. You'll be taken to the sign up. New July course 717. My assistant just posted it. It's the Info IF group link. Get yourself signed up. Don't hesitate, or they fill up fast. You can find tea at Walmart. Okay, cool. Sprouts has good organic. Okay, so I guess oolong tea is a thing. I don't even know what oolong tea is. So they're hooking you up over there. Will IF sort out hormones enough to stop the hormone replacement? Don't like the idea of long-term hormone replacement. Miss Vic, I can't say anything against what your doctor is prescribing. So if your doctor's prescribing hormone replacement, what I always say is go back and ask yourself why you're on hormone replacement. Is it just to cover up uncomfortable symptoms? If it's just to cover up uncomfortable symptoms, there's other ways to control those symptoms other than hormone replacement. And a lot of that can be done with intermittent fasting, nutritional, and lifestyle changes. So my suggestion, if you're not happy with taking hormone replacement, and it's not a life-threatening sort of thing that you have to take it for, then you wean yourself off of them by making good, solid lifestyle changes. And so hot flashes and power surges, you can get rid of that. Nutrition. And we'll talk about that in the July course. So don't worry, you're just days away from learning all that stuff. Where can I find information on the alumni course? Robin, we are currently in a transition with the alumni course. We first started the alumni course because my graduates from the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course wanted more. And so we started what was called an alumni group, and it wasn't enough. We actually need to put a formal course together. I didn't feel responsible for having people in that group and not giving them solid researched information about some things that we were doing in the group. So we are transitioning the alumni group to an alumni course, and we hope that that will be released mid to late July, I think, just because I have so many consult calls in July, 250 women in a group. I'm going to be on the phone a lot, and in between that, I'm going to be creating a course. So I just ask that you please be patient with me. You can be in the alumni Facebook group now, and we can all still, connect with each other, and you can still have access to the course and all that kind of stuff, and you'll catch me here on lives. So we'll still have our community, and we'll still stay connected, but the actual formal course won't be available for a couple weeks. So just stay tuned. We'll email everyone when it's up and running. I want to take the August class due to my summer schedule. When should I sign up for August? Tanya, you can, I would say you could sign up now, and then we can always move you to August, or you can wait a couple weeks and we close out the July 15th course, and then you can sign up like right after that. So sometime mid-August. So you'll just have to, you can decide what you want to do. We'll take you and fix you whatever way you want to do. Are the courses live with you? No, the courses aren't live. The courses are in a website-based thing, and it's all self-paced, so you don't have to be live. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let you guys go. We had a really great discussion. I'm seeing what time it is. Not 9:40, so we've been here for 40 minutes. And I want you guys to know this. If you're catching this on, the recording, which you're going to catch it at the end, or for you guys that are kind of hanging out with me here, I always do my best to keep the content on the front end and the conversation and the girlfriend connection communication time toward the end. So if you want to just catch one of my videos and get the information based on what the topic is, all you have to do is watch the front end. If you want to hang out and be part of the conversation and the comments, and you want me to answer something specific for you, I always do that on the latter half. So any one of my intermittent fasting videos, the front end is where you get the bulk of the information. If you don't want to be part of the chitter chatter toward the end, feel free to jump off anytime. I do just ask that if you come on, please leave me a comment so that I know that you were here, so that I can thank you for spending some time with me. And then always make sure that you're subscribed or liked. Leave me a like or a thumbs up. That does help my channel and my Facebook page, so I always appreciate that as well. And then always feel free to share this with a girlfriend or a family member that you feel might need some of this information as well. I think the more the merrier, and it's always fun to fast and hang out with girlfriends in a healthy lifestyle and environment. I know I have my girlfriends that I hang out with like that, and I always appreciate it being around like-minded people who are going to respect you and support the boundaries that you have for yourself. So again, that's one of those things that don't discount yourself. Make sure that you're hanging around with quality people that are going to support you and the boundaries that you set up for your lifestyle, so that you can live authentically and don't have to kind of be a chameleon and change who you are and change what you want to do based on the person that you're spending the day with. Okay, with that said, I'm going to jump off. Welcome to all my July peeps. I'm super happy to start our course. We are days away. Always please do this for me and for my assistant, which I shouldn't even call her my assistant. She's like my partner. She's the other half of my brain. She gets me out of jams. We think for each other. We help each other think. So my partner, Kara, and I are working diligently to make sure that we get everyone taken care of. Sometimes it's a process that takes us a little longer than you probably think it should, and that's just because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But we make sure that every woman feels loved and cared for. It might take a day or two for us to get back to you, but we promise you that you will get everything that you want from this course and everything that you want based on the decisions and the commitments that you're making for you. We're here for you. We're your cheerleaders. We're here to support you. So we will always make sure that we get you taken care of. Please just be patient with us. Please be kind to Kara. She's a sweet lady. I love her to death. And she works really, really hard for you guys behind the scenes. A lot of the things that go on that make this course possible and make everything that we do in our groups here and all the communication with Facebook is really because of her. And so always make sure that you say thank you to her and send her a little love if you can, because she is a very powerful force in what I'm doing here to help you guys. And sometimes behind the scenes people don't get as much credit. So thank you, Kara, for everything that you do. You are making this course great for a lot of women, and she's here for you guys too. Okay, so check into the Facebook group. Make sure you get your consult call booked if you haven't. If you have a consult call that's booked mid to late August, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that your call gets moved up. Do not reschedule your call. I will reach out to you via email and suggest some times that I might be able to plug you into. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then just keep your time and we'll get you taken care of. You can't be too late in a consult call. And oftentimes having some experience with your fasting and getting a couple, 4 or 5 weeks under your belt can oftentimes make a consult call even more powerful because we have a lot to talk about. So don't worry about the time in which your consult call is booked for the course. Everything will be fine and we will have a great time together on the phone, and I can't wait to connect with you guys one-on-one. So thank you to everyone. If you want to get into the next course, I suggest signing up. If you have to make some schedule changes, we always work with you on that too, but the most important thing is just get your spot saved so we can get you in a class. Have a good night, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow night. It's Thursday tomorrow night, so I'll see you at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, both places, YouTube and Facebook. Have a good night.